Shalom and Brocha. We're going to pick up with the Tzav Vziruz where we left off. The Rebbe was telling us, trying to depict the Gehobenkeit, the spiritual heights of the dancing on Simchas Torah. Again, a reminder, this was in the early 1930s. So the Rebbe here is saying, he left us off where he says, now the soul, in the midst of dancing and of being misamayach with the Torah, and the last word that the Rebbe wrote is, "Says good, it's blissful, says anayit." Again and again, he keeps saying the same thing. Says git, says anayit. The neshama, says the Rebbe, becomes filled with what it cannot grasp. There are words that there's no description. It's beyond reason. The Tzibrochene Yidden, Jews that are going and carrying with them so much conflict and aggravation, and especially in those days after the First World War, there was starvation and there was no panosa. And even now, the Rebbe left this for us. People are going through so much difficulty. But you get to the simcha, and you go beyond the reasoning. The mind is now empty of all comprehension. I don't have any cheshbonis. Toma l'chol nafshi. Good says anayid. Images, sensations, they're all gone. It doesn't mean anything. I'm beyond all that. The neshama tanzt. The existence of Hashem and the inexplicable bliss, says the Rebbe, are all that now fill this, my creation. The whole world is filled with only with the Eibishter and the existence of the Eibishter and all that stands for. We are chosen, and we have received the Torah. This week is Parshas Yisro. We stood at and we screamed Nasav and Nishma. We took on the whole Torah. We saw the Eibishter in the desert, says the Rebbe. Undeserved present. We were given a matana. And this is the bliss. This is the intimate union that we experience when all the mechitzas, all the barriers between Hashem and creation disappear in the bliss of the moment of celebration that the Jews have when they are being oisik in a mitzvah and infused by the spirituality of the moment. And then the Rebbe turns his attention. And you, malachim, angels, right? Who you see spiritual concepts as we see the material. In other words, what we see as a material, you see the spiritual in a material way. Have you ever seen a being so sublime as a Yid? For you, our thoughts, what we're thinking, are action. Because that's how it works out. Because the Malachim live in a world beyond the physical. So they see our thoughts, and it's tantamount to action. So tell us what you see on this day when the Yidden celebrate the Torah, when the Yidden scream Nasa v'nishma, when the Yidden scream Tzoma l'chol nafshi. Tell me what you see. You see a Yid standing in shul on Simchas Torah or other times of Simcha and sacrificing his very life, while at the same time singing and dancing. A Yid is ready to do anything for the Eibishter. And at the same time, he's ready to sing and dance. Not just the sweat that falls from his brow, from the dancing, and the joyous tears that run down his cheeks. You can see, and you could say, Eidos, you could bear witness on how much the Jews The Yidden are enthusiastic and love their God. But blood you see also. You see Jewish blood flowing. You see the pain that we go and we live through as we dance and we sing. So that there's a diameter, it's almost being slaughtered and singing, carrying the weight of life, and yet going beyond all that to sing to Hashem. And you, Malachim, you see this. Right? So he says, let me ask you, Malachim, if you rejoice with us, why are you silent at our sorrows? Chazal tell us that when we sing and when we dance and when we do mitzvahs, besimchas, the whole Shemayim, all the Malachim, everything dances with us. They're part of us because they see the Ruchni. They're living what we feel they are seeing as material. How long do you keep quiet, he says, and restrain yourselves? Because you see our pain. You see what's happening now. We have no more strength. No more strength to continue. I hear this sometimes. People say, Rebbe, I don't have the strength. And yet we daven and we dance. So he's saying to Malachim, you see this. How could you restrain yourselves, Malachim, angels? How could you hold back? And now he turns his focus even further. Forefathers, Zaydis, Tzaddikim, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, all the saints from all the generations, rise up on our behalf in Shemayim. Collect the tears shed in the joy and in the pain, and bring them straight to Kavi Yuchel the Eibishter. I've mentioned many times, and the Rebbe is picking up on this theme, that in the Rebbe's, that they talk of an ocean full of tears. Chazal tells that every time a Yid drops a tear, the tear is taken, figuratively brought up to Shemayim, and there's an ocean that's thrashing itself about, waiting to find shalom, peace, quiet, menucha. So the Rebbe says, please, Zaydis, who have passed on to the Olam HaEmes, collect our tears. Bring them to the Eibishter. Incite all the world, Allah Olamas, until Hashem sees and returns us to intimacy, brings us closer to Him. Let all the worlds know our plight, until the Eibishter Kaviyuchel fills the needs of our flesh and on our souls. You hear what's going on here? That's tzaddik. He's saying, in the midst of all this, he's saying, please take it all, bring it to the Eibishter. And why, he asks, are the rivers and the oceans of holy passion, why are they lying silent? Who brought their roar to a whisper? How did that happen? We sent up those tears with a rash, and there's a whisper, because when their fermentation, when they start fermentating, when they start getting agitated, the rivers roar, the ocean's waves rage, and they will declare, come, let us uproot all the enemies. Bring us to whoever dares to harm the simplest, the lowest of Yidden, and we will wash him away like the soil. Beyond the roar of the waves, says the Rebbe. This is all written. Oh, and beyond the roar of the waves of the storm and the thunder, Kaviyuchal Hashem himself cries in anguish. We'll pick it up next week at this point.